would like to show you my ongoing process on my WoodKit. I'm trying to create modular pieces. It will be useful for any project, any wooden structure, in buildings, in props. So this is what we are looking now. I prepare them in the blender. Here is the wooden kits. As you can see, there are some bevels and some damage to create variation in silhouettes, like small cuts and broken pieces. So they are basically tileable textures and trim textures. I will combine both of them. Actually, tiling textures are also like trim sheet logic. In the UV space, I'm putting all the wood planks that are facing in front, in the facing sides. They are only on the quarter of the UV space. So all the wooden planks are using the same logic. So they are all laying on this last column. This is basically the trim sheet of the tileable wooden texture. And I have this cotton parts, the end of the parts, especially in the planks on the side faces, that I'm having this kind of another column, another trim sheet. So they are all prepared in the same logic with procedural variation on the geometry and UV offset. And here we are in the Unreal. As you can see, they are all sharing the same wooden texture with the offset variations. Let me show you the texture first. So I have prepared this texture on the Quixel mixer. I have 4 different wooden types. They can be used in different combinations, like just a slider to create a variation in the wood. What I'm essentially doing is I'm unwrapping all the faces in this area, and I will just offset to create variations. Just basic UV offset, and it's creating a whole new thing. I will show you right now. So this is my first layer in the LayerCraft ORD texture set. I have my textures, and in the UV logic I have 2 methods for this. First, let me show you the UV offset variation. So we are using trim sheet and along Y trim direction. It depends on your wooden texture and UV unwrapping. So I'm just giving offset to the UVs of the textures along the V direction. They are only moving up and down. So every mesh will be having a different variation on the UV space. It's based on the object position and work on the instance meshes. So when we are moving, every wooden asset will be generated in a different texture. Like the mesh is the same, I can just have a different combination. So this is the offset variation, and now I would like to introduce you my object scale that is working on axis scale. So it's single object scale, and we will scale U or V direction. In this case we are tiling on the V direction, so up and down. So when we scale on Z on one axis, it will make texture like tiling on the given axis, in this case Y. So I can just increase a wooden plank to the heavens, but still keeping the same textile density. Important thing is that kind of end parts like bevels and this geometry will be stretching, so therefore it will create some artifacts. So that's why I created variations only on the geometry side, not on the height. So the height difference is actually the area difference. You can see these are like different kind of geometry silhouettes first ones are just blocks. These ones. Basic bevels. These two not even have a bevel. And the rest I will just have two variation in the, to have like in the distance you'll notice some bends and distortions. So that's why I don't have any variations in the length. I just have the variation in the area. So this is my two methods, object scale and offset variation. This is already pretty good, but in many games I see some gradients, you know, in the planks, in the middle parts. They are more worn, more, you know, used, and the color is a bit saturated, a bit more lightened up. So I would like to have that effect. So this is my background tiling texture, and I'm introducing a new layer, the wood gradient. Let's see, yes, this is really beautiful. And this is only using raw layer. Raw layer is just basic color, specular and roughness values, nothing fancy. But the important thing is, in the blend methods, I'm using attribute blend and only the base color. I won't be touching any other channels, so that's why I'm successfully reading the normal information, all the roughness details from the base layer. So wood material still in the background. I'm just overwriting base color. As you can see, I have base color weight. So this is 0, no effect, and 1 is full effect. Very easy to control. You can of course control the color from here. You can make it darker as your project needs. So how do we create the mask? Let me show you the mask debug. Here is the mask. So I'm basically using in the procedural mask methods, we have gradient. In the gradient we can use object gradients, so every object will be generating gradient based on its bounds, not in UV space, because our UVs is distorted and in many places. You know, from top to bottom I have my projects in axis. In z-axis I'm saying discard the faces looking z direction, and in the rest I'm having an opposite gradient, and outside of the axis. Inside of axis we'll be creating, yeah, you can see my axis is z, is looking upwards, and in opposite gradient we have inside is creating the gradient in the inside from both directions. Outside of the axis will be creating outside. Yeah. So we can control the amount and contrasts. This was our gradient mask, and then what I would like to do, introduce a detail mask that will be working only in the gradient section. Detail mask is reading attributes. What is attribute is basically material attributes coming from bottom layer or top layer. In this case we are using bottom layer. Get the normal B. Normal B is just faces are looking upwards, not in the middle. So we are masking this gradient by the normals that are facing perpendicular to the geometry. Now, if we use roughness, for example, we will use the roughness map, and we can just adjust it. Oh, maybe it's better, huh? So I can increase contrast in the invert contrast and something like this. It's really fun to play. So whatever we are feeding from the top layer will be shown in the white areas. And in this case, what we are writing is just the color. As you can see, we are just controlling the color information. And we can try to invert. It will be happening in the, yeah, maybe this is much better, huh? I don't know, this is really infinite. You can create anything you want. And really, this is really like addiction to me. Look at this, totally different look, huh? I really like this. So let's say you want to change these. First, let me show you the offset variation. In our base layer, in our base wooden texture, we have offset variation. It will be offsetting randomly on the V direction. And if we can offset on the U direction in the x-axis, we could have different woods. So let me open this also again. So this is our texture. As you can see, this set is now, this material, the whole WoodKit is using the same, this section. And if we can just offset this, and we can do it by here. The tiling controls, we have this. Look at this. It's a whole number, like 1.125 will be offset by this, and we are here. This is a whole new wooden asset. And again, if you type 25, you get this set, this part of the wood. A whole new wooden pack. So this is great, huh? What is better? Now in the details, we have our custom primitive data. We can offset X and offset Y. Offset Y will be offsetting. You can additionally offset your textures, and additionally you can have a different wood on both sides. So I can create this whole new set of woods. It depends on the mask, depends on the attribute of the wood for this gradient actually. So here we don't see gradient that much. Let's increase As you can see, it's actually there, but you know, the roughness, this is really low on this section of the wood. So maybe not the roughness, but normal would be better. Yeah, this is almost affecting all of it. Let's say -10. Not bad, huh? This is without gradient and with gradient. So yeah, and all this, you know, small faces, the cotton faces, they are also reading from the trim, so it's different and won't be affected by the UV offset. Let's see. Yeah. It's pretty enough variation, huh? Let's make it in the whole number, because when it is in the middle, it will be like in the between trims, so it's better to keep them like this. Look at them, as they are moving different, like sliding, creating the variations. So this section is all one mesh, one material, one draw call, and this is only actually about this texture, whatever you have. You can create more, but after a long session of study, I found this UV unwrapping is the best. As you can see, our plank UVs are in the last row of the trim. In the middle, we have the cotton pieces. So yeah, this is just 3 layers. Okay. Gradient and the detail. So here is the wooden set, and thank you so much. This kit soon will be released for you to use, for you to play with. It will be powered by LayerCraft, so if you don't have the LayerCraft yet, please go check it out. There will be a lot of kit bash assets, modular assets will be released, and they will be using LayerCraft. As you can see, I'm already working on some wall materials, and it's just assembly simply. There will be more wooden pieces will be added. So yeah, thank you so much and see you next time.